International Reaction to German Aggression Project by Elijah Caleb and Asher. Table of Contents. Topic number 1. International Reaction to German Rearmament.
Britain had some sympathy for Germany after the harsh treatment of Germany after World War I and in the Treaty of Versailles. Britain wanted to allow the Germans to grow their army from 100,000 to 200,000, including an air force. Britain and France found out that Germany was doing this anyway without the consent of the United Nations. Many countries began to show some concern with Germany's growing army, and they would further try to change the Treaty of Versailles. A conference was then held by the Prime Ministers of Britain, France, and Italy, which wrote up a formal protest against Hitler's disregard for the Treaty of Versailles.
Topic number 2. International Reaction to the Remilitarization of the Rhineland.
Hitler's violation of both the Treaty of Versailles and the Locarno Treaties had no opposition from Britain and France.
The French were in no position to even consider going to war with Germany. They believed that they would have to fully mobilize their army if they wanted to combat the remilitarization, so they decided to wait for a response from Britain.
The British did not want to get involved, this time because of their other militaristic commitments, lack of preparation for war.
With no direct consequences to his remilitarization, Hitler saw this as proof that no one would try and stop his conquest. This further convinced him to later invade Poland.
Topic number 3. International Response to the Spanish Civil War.
At first, France wanted to support the Spanish in order to prevent them being completely surrounded by enemy forces if war was to break out. They soon realized that they might face opposition if they were to directly interfere in the war, so they came up with the idea of non-intervention. This was an agreement that all European countries would stay out of the Spanish Civil War. Britain agreed with this plan to try and prevent the war from becoming a wider conflict. In total, 16 countries signed this plan, but some countries such as Germany, Italy, and the Soviet Union continued to send aid to Spain. This continued to show that Hitler would not agree to any of the appeasements and policies meant to try and prevent another world war and would continue his expansion of the German living space.
Topic number 4. International Response to Anschluss.
Hitler's invasion of Anschluss had little to no response from Britain and France. France was too busy with an international political crisis and had no time to deal with it, and Britain did not do anything because they believed that an Austrian and Germanification would take place eventually.
Topic number 5. International Reaction to German Aggression in Czechoslovakia.
Britain and France sent warnings to Germany to stop its aggressive behavior. This caused Hitler to tell his generals it is my unalterable decision to smash Czechoslovakia by military action in the near future. Hitler was only interested in total conquest, not in the claimed justice for Sudeten Germans, as was claimed to justify the actions taken. Czechoslovakian leaders were not invited to the Munich conference where their country's fate was decided. This conference gave Germany 70% of Czechoslovakia's heavy industry, a third of its population, and defenses like mountains and forts used to protect the country.
Topic number 6. International Reaction to Hitler's demands regarding Poland.
After Hitler invaded Czechoslovakia, he set his sights on Poland. Britain promised to defend Polish independence from German aggression. Hitler was planning on Britain and France not intervening, so he only prepped for a small war against Poland. After Germany's invasion, Britain and France declared war, pulling Italy and Japan into the conflict. Hitler was enraged by the thought of someone standing up to him and trying to thwart him.
Topic number 7. Reactions of Britain and France to Hitler's actions from 1939 to 1940.
Britain was not really wanting to get into another conflict, so it made harsh statements but didn't make any direct actions. This period of will they, won't they, was known as the Funny War. This occurred after both France and Britain declared war after Germany ignored an ultimatum made by Britain to call off its attack on Poland. France was invaded by Germany in 1940, so it lost much international power. This resulted in Germany invading France and spreading war to the whole continent.
Topic number 8. Importance of appeasement as a cause of the Second World War.
Appeasement was incredibly important. Starting the Second World War, this is because as more concessions were made to the Germans, the bolder they grew. Germany knew that the French had little power to do much, and the British would do anything that they believed would prevent the start of another global war.
Britain believed that the only way to do this and not anger the Nazis even further was to give up small concessions.
This later morphed into larger, harder to swallow concessions, and eventually did break out when Germany wanted something that Britain was unwilling to give. This declaration was snowballed into the Second World War.
The ends, a special thanks to narrators Andrew Garfield, Queen Elizabeth II, and myself, David Attenborough.